This week we were working on combining or coordinating the eye, the mind, and the edge of the blade, specifically the mono-uchi, the top third of the blade, of turning that edge towards what you were going to cut or your opponent generally, and combining that movement with the movement of your eyes and your intention. In the kata, there is often a kind of dance between intending to cut to one part, for example the fingers, and your opponent covering that part and consequently cutting to another part of the body. And this kind of relies on people reading intention, which is a very difficult thing to do for a variety of reasons. One of which is that if you try to do it, you forget or you stop paying attention to the armed man in front of you, which is a very dangerous thing to do. It has to be something which arises kind of naturally in your sensed experience. And so in training, we try to make the intention as clear as possible so that the reading can be as clear as possible. And so you can develop a skill with reading intention. And also so you can develop skill with like bringing everything together. Sensei once said that when you cut, it should be mind, eye, and blade all together, right? And certainly when you cut bamboo, this is the case. If those three things are not coordinated and together, then your cutting is not very good. And so the practice then of as you cut, bringing focusing the edge, the cutting part especially, on the point where you're going to cut, focusing your eye there and focusing your mind there. Not doing it early, because that's to give away your intention, and not doing it late, because that's to be scattered at an important point in the process. A tendency that we had, I think, or some people have, is to use the point rather than the edge. And this is largely what we were working on this week in class. The experience that we had, or I had certainly, was that if you use the point, there was some sense of the intention. But if you use the whole edge, like the whole top third edge, there was a much stronger sense of the danger on a specific part of the body. In my body, it felt kind of like coldness, or certainly I was simply aware of sensation in my fingers or my head or my shoulder. And that sensation was much stronger when the blade was carefully coordinated or exactly coordinated with the eye and the mind. Mind simply meaning intending to cut, right? There is a lot of different things that can be said about feinting, but in general the Itoru doesn't. It has a lot of intelligence in it, but it's not a tricky style, really. And generally speaking, all styles in all countries all over the world are intelligent, and so there is no real intelligence edge that you can find. Any school which has survived, like boxing. I mean, what is boxing? Boxing is the collected intelligence of 150 years of boxing teachers. So there are no really dumb schools anywhere. And so being extra tricky won't really buy you anything. But there's no way around an honest cut. And so a feint, which is actually an honest cut, which is read and blocked, and therefore the feinter moves on to his secondary target, is a much more useful way of approaching feinting. But it does require a kind of internal coherence between the intention and the body and the sword. And that's basically what we were practicing, primarily in this cut, in Mukaisuki, the second kata of the Itoru Kumitachi.